Hello, friends, and welcome to the Professional Procrastinator. I'm your host, Rohila, and if you're tuning in, chances are you're ready to turn the page on your procrastination habits. Each episode is a step towards action. No guilt, just positive energy and better strategies. Let's jump in and make procrastination a thing of the past. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Professional Procrastinator Podcast. I'm your host, Rohila, and today we are going to explore the time management technique known as chunking. This will help you get more done by focusing your time on related projects. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. In the future, we are going to take a look at various time management techniques. So just know that this is a little bit of a sneak preview into multiple techniques that we'll be talking about. But for the first one, we're going to talk about chunking. And chunking refers to grouping tasks together that you need to get done that are all related. Now, for this example, I'm going to talk about this podcast and essentially how I use chunking to record multiple episodes once a month and how I go about doing it. So first off, I want to give you a little sneak peek of this podcast itself and everything that goes into it. So with each episode, not only do I have the introduction and the music, but I also need to choose the topic and then outline the episode. And what that refers to is not only picking the episode, but researching the topic related to that episode. A great deal of research does go into each and every one of these episodes. And then I write extensive notes on what I want to talk about. Next up is the actual recording of each of these episodes, and then editing the episode itself. And that includes the audio, making sure it sounds okay, making sure that the voice is clear. And I do a lot of stuff in Adobe Audition to kind of clean things up. Then the metadata. So it's how do I do a lot of things that go into an audio file to make it truly accessible to the different podcast platforms, and then posting the episode. That, in a nutshell, are all the steps that it takes to produce an episode of a podcast. Now, after chunking, what I've done is you may have noticed the introduction and the music are now pre-recorded. That's why they all sound the same. So I just created an audio file that has the music, the introduction, and I've saved that. So now instead of re-recording that on each episode, I just have that available. I also created a very long and extensive list of topics. Every time someone asks me how to start a podcast, one of the first things I tell them is create a list of 50 topics. And unfortunately, that's where most people drop off. That just doesn't sound like fun to them. The reason why I do this is because you are going to come across roadblocks. There are certain episodes also that you may think sound good, but the more you dive into it, it's just not a good topic. And if you don't have a list of, if you don't take the time to create this list, you're going to spend a great amount of energy before each episode trying to come up with a topic. And trust me, it's a lot more difficult than you might think that it is. I've now recorded roughly 400 episodes of various podcasts that I've been a part of, and creating that list is an invaluable tool to really get the flow of things going. The next thing is I spend my morning researching, outlining, and taking notes on each episode. So today, for example, in the morning, I woke up early, looked at the 10 that I want to record, did the research, wrote all my notes. And then the afternoon is spent recording, and then I schedule the episodes all out at the same time. So you can already see how by chunking my time and having a dedicated day specifically to this podcast, I'm able to get a lot more done than I would if I did one episode a week, because it just takes so much effort in creating something. Now, with everything, there is a cost and a benefit. Let's explore the benefits. First off, it truly brings me in flow. You'll notice that as you do time chunking, things just become more natural. You are in a state of flow. It's effortless. And I'll talk about what flow is in just a second. But along with the flow, it helps me create a rhythm to everything that I'm doing. And that to me is so valuable because what I'm doing is by focusing on one aspect of something that I need to do and then just repeating that same amount of effort multiple times on different episodes, I'm going to get a lot more done. The other thing is I'm able to create my environment. So what does that mean? In the morning, I'm fresh. I wake up early. I'm ready for the world. In my office, I open up all the windows. I've got lots of fresh air coming in. I've got lots of natural light. I also take frequent breaks. So after I write and research each episode, I take a break by going outside for a walk, going to get some water, just something that I can do to break up. One episode is done. Now I need to take a little bit of a mental time out and then focus on the next episode. I also drink plenty of water in the morning. Now for the afternoon, my afternoon is dedicated to actually recording the episodes. And how do I do that? I do that first off by having the right light that puts me in the flow of recording. The more I can have the same environment for my morning routine and my night routine, the easier it is for my brain to get into the flow of what I'm wanting to do. So in the afternoon, like I mentioned, I have mood lighting. I also don't have as many interruptions as I do during the day. Because I'm recording, people leave me alone. I'm able to just dedicate my time to just recording, fewer interruptions, no cars. I live kind of by SeaTac Airport in Seattle, and so the amount of planes that are flying over me is greatly reduced, and trust me, it does make a difference. The other thing is I'm very strategic with my breaks. For example, one of the things that I do between each episode is I'll watch a Lord of the Rings YouTube video. I know, I'm a nerd. The other thing is that I'll watch a video about procrastination to get me ready for the topic that I'm going to present. Instead of water, I drink a lot of tea, something that's going to soothe my throat because essentially I'm going on 5+ hours of talking right now and my throat is definitely not happy with me. So tea helps me there. And then the other thing is I get into a rhythm. I get into a flow of things. Recording takes a lot of effort because it's easy to get distracted. But by falling into the rhythm of what I want to do, it helps me stay focused. So those are the benefits that I get. Now, like I mentioned, there are benefits and costs to everything. And time chunking for me does have its costs. For example, adjustments are harder. If I write all my episodes in the morning and then as I'm recording them in the afternoon, if I come across a hiccup, I can't go back in time and rewrite stuff. I essentially have to make adjustments on the fly as I'm going along. The other thing is that it can quickly become boring. So by focusing on one thing during the day and taking frequent breaks, that does help to break up the flow of things. But when I'm recording, it can quickly become boring, especially because I'm just in a room talking to myself. And the episodes might lose some of that energy. So it's important that I do take a break, I exercise, or I get some fresh air between episodes to kind of break things up. But it can become boring and easily distractions start popping up. So what can you do to chunk your time at home? First, what you want to do is break out your calendar and mark the dates that you want to get something done. Essentially, the day that you're going to pick to chunk your time. The other thing is create a to-do list of all the things that you want to get done. Make sure that they're all related. That's how time chunking works, is by taking tasks that are related and chunking them together so you can get more accomplished by dedicating your time, your energy, your focus, your concentration on those things. Possible ideas include donations and making a Goodwill run. One of the things that I do often is Goodwill runs. And what I'll do is I'll go through the house and start setting stuff aside that I want to donate. And then that way I've got my dedicated day and I'll drop off all those donations. Spring cleaning is another popular one where you will take a dedicated day or a dedicated weekend and just do all the cleaning that you need to do, both inside and outside. Something else that you can do is clean out your email, especially when it comes to your personal email. It can be so easy to just let things accumulate. So go through your inbox, delete old emails, unsubscribe from all those newsletters that you were a part of, and make sure your inbox is nice and clean. Something else is errands. This is probably the most popular one. When you have to do multiple things, you'll group them together in a single day and then go about getting things done. And then lastly, something that I do often is birthday cards. I'll pick one day early on in the year, usually around January, and I write all my birthday cards and then send them out when it's appropriate. To sum it up, today we explored a time management technique known as chunking. Chunking is when you group together related tasks to get them accomplished in a dedicated time. This will help you be more accomplished, build momentum, and help you just be in the flow, letting your energy flow naturally instead of by force. If you like this tip, there are plenty others in my book, I'll Do It Tomorrow, Ends Today on Amazon. Just do a search for I'll Do It Tomorrow, and there you go. Thank you for spending your time with me. Hopefully, it wasn't just another form of procrastination. I'm Rohit Rohila, reminding you that sometimes later becomes never. So do it now. You deserve it.